Hey there, welcome to this deep dive into why your thoughts shape your reality. Let's explore how the way you think influences every aspect of your life, from your emotions to your actions and even the world around you. This isn't just some fluffy idea, it's backed by science, psychology, and real world examples. So, grab a comfy seat, maybe a cup of tea, and let's unpack this together. First off, let's talk about the power of your mind. Your thoughts are like the steering wheel of your life. They guide where you go, how you feel, and what you achieve. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning and tell yourself it's going to be a terrible day, you're already setting the tone. You might notice every little thing that goes wrong, from spilling your coffee to getting stuck in traffic. But if you start the day thinking it's going to be awesome, you're more likely to spot opportunities, feel energized, and handle challenges with a smile. That's the first clue that your thoughts aren't just random. They're shaping how you experience reality. Now, you might be wondering, how does this actually work? It starts with something called the reticular activating system, or RAS, in your brain. This is like a filter that decides what you notice in the world. Ever bought a new car and suddenly saw that same car everywhere? That's your RAS at work. It prioritizes what's on your mind. If you're constantly thinking negative thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or I'll never succeed, your brain will look for evidence to support those ideas. You'll notice every failure, every rejection, and it'll feel like the world is against you. But if you focus on positive thoughts like, I'm capable, or opportunities are coming my way, your brain will start spotting possibilities you might have missed before. It's like tuning a radio to a different station. You change the input, and the output shifts. Let's take a real-world example. Imagine two people applying for the same job. Person A thinks, I'm probably not qualified, but I'll try anyway. Person B thinks, I've got unique skills, and I'm excited to show what I can do. Even if they have similar resumes, person B is likely to walk into the interview with more confidence, better body language, and a stronger presence. Their thoughts shape their behavior, which in turn influences how the interviewer perceives them. Person A, on the other hand, might come across as hesitant or unsure, not because they're less capable, but because their thoughts are holding them back. The job might go to person B, not because they're inherently better, but because their mindset created a different reality. This isn't just about interviews or small moments. Your thoughts can shape your entire life trajectory. Let's talk about something called the self-fulfilling prophecy. This is when your beliefs about yourself or the world actually make those beliefs come true. For instance, if you believe you're bad at public speaking, you might avoid opportunities to practice, get nervous when you have to speak, and then mess up because you're so anxious. That reinforces your belief, and the cycle continues. But if you start telling yourself, I'm getting better at speaking every time I try, you'll be more likely to practice, take risks, and improve over time. Your thoughts create a loop. Negative thoughts trap you, while positive ones open doors. Now, let's get into the science a bit more. There's a field called neuroplasticity that shows your brain can change based on how you use it. When you think the same thoughts over and over, you're literally wiring your brain to make those thoughts stronger. It's like carving a path in a forest. The more you walk it, the clearer it gets. If you're always thinking, I'm a failure, that neural pathway gets deeper, and it becomes your default way of thinking. But the good news? You can create new paths. By consciously choosing to think more empowering thoughts like, I'm learning and growing, you can rewire your brain over time. It's not instant, but with practice, those new thoughts become your reality. Let's pause for a second and talk about emotions, because they're a huge part of this. Your thoughts don't just shape what you do, they shape how you feel. Have you ever noticed how single thought can ruin your mood? Maybe you're having a great day, and then you remember an embarrassing moment from years ago, and suddenly you're cringing. That thought triggered an emotional response. On the flip side, thinking about something you're grateful for, like a kind gesture from a friend, can instantly lift your mood. Your emotions are like a feedback loop for your thoughts. If you dwell on negativity, you'll feel worse, which makes it harder to think positively. But if you focus on thoughts that uplift you, your emotions follow, creating a cycle that shapes a more positive reality. Okay, so we've established that your thoughts influence your perception, your actions, and your emotions. But what about the bigger picture? Can your thoughts actually change the world around you? This is where things get really interesting. There's a concept in psychology called the Pygmalion effect. This says that your expectations of others can influence how they perform. For example, if a teacher believes a student is gifted, they might give them more attention or encouragement, and the student ends up performing better. Your thoughts about others, whether they're positive or negative, can shape how you interact with them, which in turn affects how they respond to you. It's like your thoughts send out a signal that ripples into the world.
Let's bring this to a personal level. Think about your relationships. If you constantly think, my partner doesn't appreciate me, you might start acting distant or defensive, which could make them pull away too. Your thought created a reality where the relationship feels strained. But if you think, my partner and I are growing together, you're more likely to approach them with openness and understanding, which strengthens the connection. Your thoughts don't just live in your head, they spill out into how you treat people and how they treat you back. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but what about when life is really tough? Can positive thinking really help when things are falling apart? That's a fair question. This isn't about pretending everything's fine when it's not. It's about choosing thoughts that empower you to navigate challenges. For example, instead of thinking, this is hopeless, you might think, this is hard, but I can take it one step at a time. That shift doesn't change the situation overnight, but it changes how you approach it. You start looking for solutions instead of dwelling on the problem. Over time, those small shifts in thinking can lead to big changes in your reality. Let's talk about how to actually do this, because it's one thing to understand the concept and another to put it into practice. One powerful tool is mindfulness. This is about paying attention to your thoughts without judging them. Try this. For one day, just notice what you're thinking. Are your thoughts mostly negative, like, I'm so stressed, or I can't do this? Or are they more neutral or positive? Once you start noticing, you can catch those negative thoughts and challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is there another way to look at this? For example, if you think, I always mess things up, you could counter it with, I've made mistakes, but I've also done a lot of things well. Another tool is affirmations. Now, I know affirmations can sound cheesy, but they work by rewiring those neural pathways we talked about. Pick a simple, positive statement that feels true to you, like, I am capable of handling whatever comes my way. Say it to yourself daily, especially when you're feeling down. Over time, it starts to sink in, and you'll notice yourself acting in ways that align with that belief. It's like planting a seed. You water it with repetition, and it grows into your reality. Visualization is another game changer. Athletes use this all the time. They imagine themselves winning a race or nailing a performance, and it helps them perform better in real life. You can do the same. If you're nervous about a big presentation, take a few minutes to close your eyes and picture yourself speaking confidently, engaging the audience, and feeling great about it. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between what you imagine and what's real, so this practice can prime you for success. It's like a mental rehearsal that shapes how you show up in the moment. Let's talk about gratitude, too. This is one of the fastest ways to shift your mindset. When you focus on what you're thankful for, your brain starts looking for more things to appreciate. Try this. Every night, write down 3 things that went well that day, no matter how small. Maybe you had a great conversation, enjoyed a sunny walk, or just got through a tough task. Over time, this trains your brain to notice the good stuff, which makes your reality feel brighter and more hopeful. Now, let's address a common roadblock: limiting beliefs. These are deep-seated thoughts like, I'm not smart enough, or I don't deserve success.
They're often formed early in life, maybe from a harsh comment or a failure you took to heart. The problem is, these beliefs act like a lens that colors everything you see. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll interpret every setback as proof of that, even if it's not true. The way to break free is to question those beliefs. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Is it based on facts, or is it just a story I've been telling myself? Then look for evidence to the contrary. Maybe you're not perfect, but you've accomplished things you're proud of. Build on that evidence to create a new, more empowering belief. Let's wrap this up with a big idea. Your thoughts are a form of energy. This might sound a bit woo-woo, but hear me out. Everything in the universe is connected, and your thoughts are part of that web. When you think positively, you're putting out a certain kind of energy, confidence, hope, creativity. That energy influences how you act, how others respond to you, and even what opportunities come your way. It's not magic, it's just the natural flow of cause and effect. Your thoughts are the starting point, and they ripple out to shape your reality in ways you might not even realize. So here's your takeaway. You have more power over your reality than you might think. Your thoughts aren't just fleeting ideas, they're the architects of your life. By choosing to focus on thoughts that empower you, challenge you, and lift you up, you can transform how you experience the world. It's not about being perfect or never having a negative thought. It's about noticing what you're thinking, questioning it, and steering it in a direction that serves you. Start small. Try one of the tools we talked about, like mindfulness, affirmations, or gratitude. Over time, you'll see how those small shifts in thinking create a ripple effect that changes your reality for the better. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the power of your thoughts. I hope you feel inspired to take control of your mindset and see where it takes you. Until next time, keep thinking thoughts that light up your world.